Let me tell you what confidence is not before I tell you what confidence actually is. Because there's probably a bunch of preconceived notions out there, and I am going to set the record straight for you. Confidence is not walking into a room and thinking that everyone likes you. It's not feeling fearless every single day. It's not having your life together at all times. And it's definitely not waking up one day and magically feeling different. So, if you've been waiting to feel confident before you do the thing, like ask for the promotion, set the boundary, or go on the date, start the business, you're going to be waiting forever, because here's the truth that nobody tells you. Confidence isn't a feeling, it's a skill. And you build it the same way you build any other skill, through repetition, not inspiration. I'm Mina, and in the next 20 minutes, I am going to break down exactly what real confidence is and why you don't have it yet, and the exact steps to build it starting today. No fluff, no affirmations, just the truth. Let's go. If you're watching this, you probably relate to at least one of these situations. You're about to speak up in a meeting, but you second guess yourself. Wait, is this even worth saying? What if everyone thinks the question is dumb? So you stay quiet. And then someone else raises their hand and says the exact same thing. 10 minutes later, and everyone loves it, right? And you're sitting there like, I literally just thought that. Or maybe it's this. You want to post on social media, maybe it's your business, maybe it's just your thoughts, but you overthink it for hours. You rewrite the caption 5 times, you delete it, you post it, you delete it again, because what if people judge you? What if no one engages? What if they think you're trying too hard? Or this one, you're interested in someone, but you don't make a move, you don't send the text. You don't make it clear that you're interested, because what if they don't feel the same way? What if you're reading the situation wrong? What if you look desperate? Sounds familiar, right? Here's what's really happening. You're waiting for confidence to show up before you take action, but that's actually backwards. Let me say it again, because this is the whole shift. Confidence doesn't come before the action. It comes because of the action. You don't wait to feel ready. You act while you're scared. And every time you do, your brain collects evidence that says, oh, I did the scary thing and I survived. Maybe I can do it again. And that is how confidence is built. Not through affirmations, even though they're amazing, not through visualization, which is also really amazing, not through reading self-help books, which is amazing, but it's really built through doing the thing you're afraid of over and over until your brain realizes, actually, this isn't dangerous as I thought. But here's why most people never build real confidence. They've been lied to about what confidence actually is. Lie number 1, confident people don't feel fear. Wrong. Confident people feel fear all the time. The difference is they act anyway. They don't wait for the fear to go away. They just decide that their action is more important than their comfort. Lie number 2. Confidence is about being liked by everyone. No. Confidence is about being okay with not being liked by everyone. It's knowing what your worth is, and it isn't determined by other people's opinions. And the moment you need everyone to approve of you, you lose your power. Lie number 3. Confidence is something you either have or you don't. Absolutely not. Confidence is built, it's trained, and anyone, and I mean anyone, can develop it if they're willing to do the uncomfortable work of trying things before they feel ready. So if you've been sitting around waiting to feel confident, I need you to stop today, because that feeling you're waiting for, it only shows up after you already done the thing. And here's something else that nobody talks about. Low confidence isn't just hurting your career or your dating life, but it's actually costing you your peace. Think about how much mental energy you waste second guessing yourself, replaying conversations, worrying about what people think, avoiding opportunities because you're afraid of looking stupid or being rejected. That's exhausting. And the crazy part is the thing you're avoiding, the conversation, the risk, the vulnerability, it's usually not as scary. So the question isn't how do I feel more confident? The question is, what would I do if I wasn't afraid? And then you go do that thing. Even if your hands are shaking, your voice is cracking, even if you mess up. Because every time you choose action over fear, you literally rewire your brain. You're building new narrow pathways that say, I can do hard things, I can handle discomfort, and I am capable. So if confidence isn't a feeling, what is it? Here is my definition. And this is backed by psychology, neuroscience, and years of coaching women through this exact thing. Confidence is the willingness to try, even when you don't know the outcome. That's it. It's not about knowing you'll succeed. It's about being willing to fail and knowing that you'll be okay either way. Let me give you an example. You want to start a business, but you're waiting until you have the perfect website, the perfect branding, the perfect offer, and you tell yourself, once I have all of that, then I'll feel confident enough to launch. But that's not how it works. You don't build a perfect business and then feel confident. You start messy, you make mistakes, you learn, you adjust. And that process is pretty much what builds your confidence, because every time you try something and it doesn't kill you, you get stronger. Or let's say you want to set a boundary with someone in your life. Maybe it's your mom, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a partner, but you're waiting to feel confident enough to have the conversation. You're rehearsing it in your head, you're overthinking how they'll respond, and here's the truth. You will never feel 100% confident before the conversation. You just have to have it. And the first time is going to feel scary, of course. Your voice may crack, it may shake. You might stumble over your words, but you'll survive. And the next time you need to set a boundary, it'll be a little easier. And the time after that, even easier. That's the confidence-competence loop. You try something, you learn from it, you get better at it, you feel more confident doing it again. Rinse and repeat. And here's the key. Real confidence is quiet. It's not loud. It's not performative. It's not posting on Instagram every day about how unbothered you are. Real confidence is calm, it's grounded, it knows its worth without needing to prove it. Because the women who are truly confident, they don't need to convince anyone. They just are. They just show up as themselves. They say what they mean. They walk away from what doesn't serve them, and they don't apologize for it. Think about someone you know who's genuinely confident, not arrogant, not performative, just solid, right? How do they move through the world? They're not constantly seeking reassurance. They're not apologizing for taking space. They're not shrinking themselves to make others feel comfortable. They ask for what they want. They say no without over-explaining, and they take up space unapologetically. And when they fail, they don't spiral into shame. They just adjust and try again. That's what we're building here. Not fake it till you make it confidence, not Instagram caption confidence, real bone deep, shakeable confidence. So let me ask you, where in your life are you waiting to feel ready before you act? Where are you holding yourself back because you don't feel confident enough yet? But that's the exact place you need to start. So now that you know what confidence actually is, let's talk about how to build it. I'm going to give you 5 pillars, 5 non-negotiable practices that will build unshakable confidence if you commit to them. Keep the promise you make to yourself is pillar number 1. This is your foundation. If you can't trust yourself, you can't be confident. Think about it. Every time you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you're teaching your brain, I can't rely on me. You say you're going to wake up at 6 a.m., you don't. You say you're going to go to the gym, you don't. You say you're going to apply for the job, you don't. And then you wonder why you don't feel confident. It's because you spent years proving to yourself that you're not trustworthy. So here's the fix. Start small. Make one promise to yourself today and keep it. Not 10 promises, just one. Maybe it's, I'm going to drink 64 ounces of water today. I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk. I'm going to send that email that I've been avoiding. Pick one thing, do it, and then tomorrow, do it again, and the day after that. Because every time you keep a promise to yourself, you're building self-trust. And self-trust is confidence. And here's the thing, it doesn't matter how small the promise is. What matters is that you honor it, because your brain doesn't distinguish between big promises and small ones. It just tracks, did I do what I said I was going to do? So start building evidence. Even if it's just making your bed every morning. Even if it's just drinking water, even if it's just showing up. Because over time, those small kept promises compounds into unshakable self-trust. And when you trust yourself, you can walk into any room, any situation, any conversation, knowing I've got me. No matter what happens, I can handle it. Pillar number 2, do one thing every day that scares you. Not reckless things, not dangerous things, but things that make you feel uncomfortable. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting. Maybe it's posting something vulnerable on social media. Maybe it's texting someone first. Maybe it's going to the gym alone. Maybe it's saying no to something that you usually would say yes to. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that you're training your nerve system to realize discomfort won't kill me. I can handle this. Because here's the secret. Confidence lives on the other side of discomfort every single time. So if you're avoiding something because it feels scary, that's your sign. That's exactly the thing that you need to do. And I want you to start tracking this. Get a journal or a notes app or use your Apple Notes. And every day write down, today I did X, even though it scared me. Because that's evidence. That's what building confidence is. Not the affirmations you say in the mirror. That's the actual proof that you can do hard things. And here's what's going to happen. The first time you do the scary thing, your heart's going to race. Your palms might sweat. You might stumble over your words, but you'll survive. And your brain will note, okay, we can do it and we're still alive. The second time, still scary, but slightly less. The 10th time, it's just another Tuesday. And that's how you expand your comfort zone. Not by waiting to fear to disappear, but by proving to yourself over and over that you can act despite it. Pillar number 3, stop seeking external validation. This is a big one, and it's the hardest one because most of us have been conditioned to believe that our worth comes from other people's approval. We post something online, how we check how many likes we get, we share, an idea, we scan the room to see if people agree. We dress a certain way because we want to be seen as attractive, successful, put together. Here's the truth. The moment you need someone else to validate you, you give away your power. Real confidence comes from internal validation. It's knowing I am enough regardless of what anyone else thinks. And that doesn't mean you don't care about feedback. It means you don't need approval to take action. So here's the practice. This week, do one thing without telling everyone. Post something without checking the likes. Share your opinion without needing agreement. Wear something bold without explaining to yourself, and notice how it feels to just be without needing applause. Because here's what happens. When you're constantly seeking validation, you become a chameleon. You adjust who you are based on who you're around. You say what you think people want to hear. You hide the parts of yourself that might be too much. That's exhausting. And it's also why you don't feel confident. Because you're not being you. You're being a version of you that you think will be accepted. But the women who have real confidence, they're not worried about being liked by everyone. They're being themselves unapologetically and trusting that the right people will appreciate that. So start practicing this when you catch yourself about to say something just for approval. Just pause, ask yourself, is this actually what I want, or am I performing? And then choose to be authentic instead, even if it's uncomfortable, even if people don't get it, because the freedom that comes from being yourself is worth more than any external validation. Pillar number 4, surround yourself with people who are farther ahead. You cannot become confident by surrounding yourself with people who are stuck. If all your friends are complaining, settling, playing small, you're going to do the same. Not because you are weak, but because that's how mirror neurons work. We unconsciously adopt the behaviors and beliefs of the people who we spend the most time with. So if you want to build confidence, you need to be around other confident people, people who are taking risks, people who are speaking up, people who are building things, people who are unapologetic about what they actually want. That might mean joining a new community, hiring a coach, listening to a different podcast, following different people on social media. It might even mean creating distance from the people that you love who are just keeping you small. And I know that's hard, but your growth matters more than your comfort probably ever will, because here's what happens. When you're around people who are leveling up, you start to see what's possible. You start to think, if she can do it, maybe I can do it too. And you start to adopt their mindset, their habits, their standards. And suddenly, the thing that felt impossible starts to feel doable. Not because you changed overnight, but because your environment changed. And your environment shapes your identity more than anything else. So audit who you're spending time with, not to judge them, but to honestly ask, are these people inspiring me to grow? Or are they keeping me comfortable in my smallness? And then make the hard choice to invest in relationships that elevate you, even if it means outgrowing people you've unfortunately known for years. And lastly, pillar number 5, reframe failure as feedback. This is a game changer, because the reason most people don't try is because they're terrified of failing. And here's the shift. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's a part of success. Every time you try something and it doesn't work, you're pretty much getting data. You're learning what doesn't work so that you can adjust and try again. And every attempt, whether it works or not, is building your confidence. Because confident people aren't people who never fail, they're people who fail, learn, and keep going. So stop seeing failure as a reflection of your worth. Start seeing it as information, and then use that information to get better. Let me give you an example. Let's say you post something on social media and it flops. No engagement, no comments, crickets. Your old mindset will say, see, I'm not good at this. People don't care about what I actually have to say. I should just stop trying. But your new mindset says, okay, that didn't land. What can I learn from this? Maybe the timing was off. Maybe the message wasn't clear. Maybe my audience wants something different. Let me adjust and try again. Do you see the difference? One mindset keeps you stuck and the other keeps you growing. And here's the truth. The most successful people you admire have failed more times than they've even tried. The difference is they don't let their failures stop them. They let it teach them. So the next time you fail at something, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? And then take that lesson and apply it moving forward. The moment you stop being afraid of failure, you become unstoppable. To wrap up this video, here's what I need you to understand. You already have everything you need to be confident. You don't really need more information. You don't need more time. You don't need to be smarter, prettier, thinner, wealthier, or more prepared. You just need to start acting like the woman you want to become today, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, but today. Because confidence isn't something that you wait for, it's something that you build, one scary decision at a time, one kept promise at a time, and one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And here's the beautiful part. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. The first time you set a boundary, it's terrifying. The 10th time is just Tuesday. The first time you post your work online, you're shaking. The 100th time, you don't even think about it. The first time you walk into a room alone, you feel out of place. The 15th time, you own the room. That is the confidence-competence loop, and it works every single time. So I want you to think about this. 6 months from now, if you commit to these 5 pillars, who would you be? What will you have done that you're kind of avoiding right now? What boundaries would you have set? What risks will you have taken? What version of yourself will you have stepped into? And now think about this. 6 months from now, if you don't do this work, if you keep waiting to feel ready, if you're seeking validation, if you're breaking promises to yourself, where will you be? Probably in the same place you are right now, still waiting, still doubting, still playing it small. The choice is yours. And I know it's not easy to hear, but it is the truth. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you show up every single day. And you get to choose. Am I going to act like the woman I want to become, or am I going to stay comfortable in who I've been? So stop waiting, stop overthinking, and stop telling yourself you're not ready yet, because you are ready. I hope that this video resonated with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.